I always forget, I always mess up the intro.
Yeah.
Do I change it up this time? I don't know what to do. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Champions of Small Business podcast. I am your host. My name's Charlie Anderson. I own a company called DreamWorks Roofing. We're right here in our office here today with two fine young gentlemen. Here with Cameron and Micah from Hearth Services.
That's correct.
Yep. Yes, and I'm pumped to have you guys here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You
we
guys
appreciate
have always been I don't know what it is. I've had this affinity towards you guys and your business. Little backstory. I met these guys by, it was a Facebook post and saw someone had put an ad out for cleaning of a pellet stove.
Right. Yeah.
I have a pellet stove. And I have no idea what I'm doing.
Right.
First time I fired my pellet stove up, I smoked my house out.
Nice.
I didn't have the pot thing pushed in all the way.
Right.
When I say smoked my house out, I mean soot covering my walls. I probably should have called a restoration company.
Oh my
whole house smelled like smoke, and I was I had no idea what I was doing.
Wow.
Right.
So I turned it off, and I never turned it back on again. But I actually called these guys up, and they were very nice with me. I think you even taught me how to use the.
I did, yeah. Absolutely.
Taught me how to use it. He was probably who's this guy? Over my shoulder, because I didn't know.
Yep.
Right.
What's really cool, you guys didn't tell me this till today, I was your first customer.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm honored.
Yep.
Very first.
Yeah.
Very first.
You know, but you guys really remind me of myself in the way that we started business, right? I started just the same way you guys did. Me and my partner, Steve, I was doing the books. He was doing most of the installs, right? I was doing the sales. He was doing the installs, and we were just this cohesive little team. So,
right.
Take me back to the beginning though. How did you two meet? How did you become Hearth Services? What brought you to this kind of industry?
I'll start. So what started was I've been doing this for 15 years now. So it started out in Ohio, and then I got married, and then we moved back here. I wanted to get out of it, and lo and behold, here I am 15 years later still doing it.
Sucks you in.
It sucks you in, man. You can't get out of it. And then Cameron, he's my brother-in-law. So
yeah, that's what you didn't know.
That's where, so he married my sister. So that's where our connection comes in. Yeah. But one day we were having dinner at their place, and him and I ran out to get dinner, and it actually, I don't know, it was just a very quick conversation. It was hey, is there any money in this to be made? And I said, dude, there's money to be made. I was like, because nobody wants to take care of the little guy. Yeah. Somebody like you that has no idea what they're doing, but you didn't have it installed by one of the competitors in the area. Yeah. So I told Cameron, I said, hey, dude, there's money to be made, man. We can make it. Yeah. And so we were getting dinner, and then that's when it was just that's where it kicked off at. Right. So.
Funny part is we were actually at a gas station. When it all the conversation went down.
That was the first part of it.
Yeah, because he was talking about how much business there was and just no one to take care of it.
Yeah.
And me being an opportunist, I'm like, is this an option? Is this a real thing? And he's like, yeah, dude, we could kill it in this. And I was literally at the gas station. We're like, all right, let's start a business. And literally and then
we just started. Everything started falling into place at that point.
The next day we just jumped on it and started it up.
Honestly, I think that's where, in my opinion, I think that's where most great businesses are built, and or great ideas are formed, rather. Where you're going off the spontaneity of the moment, and you're like, well, does this make sense? You don't overthink it,
right?
You're just like, shit, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's
make
jump.
it happen, right?
Yeah, you can put together some numbers, right? You know how to fix these things,
right?
You don't overthink it.
Well, and that's what it came down to is, I have the hands-on aspect of it. He has the business side of it. So, and that's kind of where I was like, and, reading some books and stuff that my brother had given us and Cameron. So I started reading them, and I was just like, oh, man, there's something here. Yeah. So then, again, that's when we started talking, and it was just kind of like, boom, it just started falling into place. Right. And then that's where we got to now. Yeah. So we're almost a year into it now.
That's awesome.
So, September will be a year.
Your 1 year anniversary.
1 year anniversary.
Yep. Well, you started at the right time.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Right.
Right when people are
and that's almost what it came down to. Hey, if we're going to do this, we have to do it now. Yeah. Because we're going to miss the boat, and then we're going to have to wait a full another year. Yeah. So that's why, and he's been full-time into it basically since day one almost.
Yeah, pretty much.
obviously I do other things plus run the books and other things. But
Right.
But yeah, it was one of those deals. It was you either do it now or we don't do it for another 12 months.
Yeah.
And so we just made it happen.
We just jumped into it.
Yeah.
That's and that's the thing. How does there's a seasonality to your business?
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Is that something that was like quite the hurdle to kind of get used to? I know for me it was.
It was in a sense because, our busy season is August through March, right? So one thing that happens is obviously you have 4 or 5 months of dead time. They have to figure out,
what we're
are
going
we
to
do jobs? Are we going to start a second business? So
Right.
for us, we ended up starting a second side thing that we have going on up until, August rolls around. Well, fun fact is, this cold weather rolled through. Magically, everyone needs their stuff worked on again.
Yep.
So we, business is starting to peak again. But we know, obviously, with this heat wave coming through, it'll drop back down because no one's running a fireplace at 90 degrees outside.
Right.
So, it's super seasonal, right?
Yeah, super seasonal.
And so what we're trying to do is because a lot of the people in our industry won't work for months on end. They'll work through the busy season and then just take off 3 months.
They just lay everybody off.
Right.
Yep.
And then just
Come
jump back into it in August.
Come back fresh.
We're trying to change that because, we're so busy. We were so busy last year at being, when we weren't really known, we were still so slammed.
Yeah.
That we're trying to change that mindset of, hey, let's get the cleanings done in the summertime.
Yeah.
Get you ready for winter instead of being behind the 8 ball. Let's be proactive instead of reactive, right?
I know. I need to call you.
But, there you go. Hey, give me a shout. I'll book you any day. Changing that mindset of the customer is difficult, especially since they've been in the same mindset of, hey, my guys are shut down.
Yeah.
Well, we are the guys now for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to tell them, hey, listen, we don't
us
shut
early.
down.
Yeah.
We're running all year, every day of every day.
That's awesome.
So it's been a little bit of a challenge, but we've actually got a lot of people to, book through the summers.
But that's good. I mean, it sounds like, if I was in your guys' position, I'd be like, let's advertise now.
Right.
Yep.
It's cheap now.
Right.
It's a lot cheaper than competing with the big guys during the busy season.
Exactly.
Advertising the off season.
Exactly.
If you catch that work now, when a problem does arise, come middle of winter, right, February, and someone's stove won't work,
Right.
who are they gonna call?
Yep.
Exactly.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
So you're 1 year in. What would you say? What's give me a lesson that you've learned after 1 year in business? Because I know I learned a ton of lessons. Most of them hard.
Right.
Most of them costly.
Right.
Can you think of something like what's something good that you took out of this last year? Because I guess I should ask. This isn't the first business you started, right?
This is not my first.
Not your first business.
This is not my
This is
first.
first business that
First business that I started. Yeah.
Okay.
So one thing I learned, and it's interesting because, my other industry, everyone's very cohesive and works together too. There is competition, but everyone still wants the best for everyone, right? And there is industries that aren't like that.
Roofing.
Oddly enough, this business is exactly the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to, in the beginning, I had to really drum up a lot of work for us because really, no one knows who Capital Hearth Services.
Yeah.
They know who all these other big guys are.
Yep.
But our little piece here, no one knows of us. So, I really had to humble myself going into this business because in my other industry, the honey business, like people know who I am in this area. Like people know Worth and Honey.
Yep.
So I don't really have to look too hard or ask for help for things. But, with not getting business right off the bat, I had to super humble myself and really, and interestingly enough, I reached out to people, right? So I reached out to other people in the industry and I didn't know how they'd welcome me or if they'd be like, hey, dude, pound bricks, like we're not giving you anything.
Right.
And just reached out and said, hey, we're new to the business, not new to the industry, but new to the business and to the area. If you have any extra work or if you need to contract work out, let us know.
Yeah.
Right. And it was the most eye-opening situation because everyone's like, hey, I'm so glad you came. Dude, I have so much work, I can't keep up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And next thing you know, we're flooded with work because all these people are like, dude, these guys are legit.
Yeah.
And it changed my opinion on things, right? So I found out really quickly that, hey, if you're humble and willing to ask people like, hey, we're good guys, we're willing to do the work, we'll show up and get it done for you, and we've been in it 15 years, we're knowledgeable.
Yep.
People are willing to work with you.
Yeah.
And they like people like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, like the old saying goes, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
Exactly.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is, working with other companies that are willing to help us out.
Yeah.
Creating a relationship with them is huge.
Yeah.
Right.
Not just saying, hey, give me business,
Yep.
and then you let them high and dry, but it's also return business to them.
Yeah, it's a
you know,
two-way
so you know, they've given us business, and when we can't fix something or it's just totally unrepairable or anything like that, we send it right back to them. We say, hey, check out these guys because, you know, they're awesome people.
Yeah.
So, you know, for me, learning that was actually huge. You know, it's a two-way street. It's not just us take from them, but we're also giving back to them.
Yeah.
And, you know, they've been awesome people to us as well. And they've helped us out with like warranties and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, just, you know, different things that we don't have established yet, but we're working our way there.
Yeah.
You know, and just having that connection has been huge for that. That's been cool for me to see.
Absolutely.
One thing I've learned in the business so far.
Man, that's so cool. Cause I know, speaking from the roofing industry, like it's cutthroat.
Yeah.
There's no friends here.
Right.
Right. There's people you're friendly with.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's no friends.
Correct.
Right. Everyone can take on the work. Everyone can do the repairs. Everyone can do the replacements. And if I can undercut you by $500, I'm going to do it.
Right. It's worth it in my book.
Yeah. I want to see you fail.
Yep.
It's such a toxic mindset because, I mean, I hate to keep throwing out cliches, but the rising tide raises all boats, right?
Yeah.
I'm like someone like AES, Hearth and Patio. You guys probably work with them.
Yeah.
They're one of the only names I can really come up off the top of my head. But a larger company is probably focused more on the replacements and the new installs, right?
Correct.
Right.
And they probably get 100 warranty calls a month that they're like, we don't have time
Exactly.
for it. But
Correct.
if they can get to those warranty calls via you guys both look good now.
Well, what's interesting too is that we found our niche in a place that no one else. We're the only ones in town that do what we do, right?
Yeah.
So everyone else in town is tied to a specific vendor, right? I can only touch Hearth and Home. I can't touch your stuff, right? We don't tie ourselves to anybody, so we'll work on anything because everything's pretty much basically built the same.
Yeah.
There's very slim differences between stuff.
Yeah.
But he's worked on anything, everything.
You've worked on so much, you know it all.
Right. So
and
that's
once you do one thing, it's again, like you said, it's looking at the same thing, just maybe placed differently in a different spot. It's all the same.
But that's kind of how we found our place in the market.
Yep.
Was we're doing what no one else is willing to do.
Yeah.
And it's opened up a ton of doors for us. And that's why a lot of these guys work with us is because, hey, I got a call from one of my customers. We don't touch those.
Yeah.
So, hey, can you get out there? Absolutely.
Hell yeah,
Absolutely.
you
Give me their number. I'll call them today. Give me 5 minutes. I'll call them right now. You know?
Dude, I think that's a really good, like, shining example of, like, people say, like, the riches are in the niches, right?
Yeah,
So
100%.
if you,
Absolutely.
and actually you kind of made your own niche.
Right.
Yep.
Because we know how this goes too. Roofing is very much the same. Everybody aligns with a manufacturer, and you'll die for that manufacturer.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
The GAF guys will spit on the Owens Corning guys, who will spit on the certain. It's like,
Yeah.
man, when you put it all together, guys, it's fiberglass mixed with asphalt with little pieces of rock
Exactly.
on it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're all relatively the same,
Right.
you know.
Remotely,
But
yeah.
people wear this on it like it's a badge of honor on their chest.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it does for you. Is it forces you to be in the best. Your decisions benefit the customer first,
Correct.
more so than the manufacturer first.
Exactly.
Well, and that's what we're about, anyways. I mean, we
Oh,
want to
yeah.
take care of that customer,
Yeah,
and we want that customer to be for life,
Yeah,
not just you know, we're going to use you this year and forget about you next year.
Right.
We want to use, you know, we want you to be a part of our family
Yep.
every year.
Right.
You know, and so again, it is a very niche thing, and it's going away. Not a lot of people do what we do either. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's why we're trying to customer focus is where we're at.
yeah,
At the
And
end of the
honestly,
day.
taking care of the customer has been our bread and butter, right? Because they've paid dividends for us, right?
Mhm.
We've invested in them and taken care of them. And I mean, I can't tell you how many times they've said, "Oh, my friend so and so," which you never remember their names, anyways. But like they, told me about you guys, or we got a really sweet connection with the propane company because they said, "Hey, one of my customers he's hard to take care of. He said you guys did a fantastic job.
nice.
So can you take more business? We have a ton of business we don't do anymore.
Yeah.
Do you want it?"
Yeah,
And I was like, do people normally say no to this? Like, of course I want it. Like, I'll never say no. Let's go. Like, right now. Let's
We'll
do it.
figure
Set
it
it
out.
up.
We'll
Yeah.
figure it out one way or
Set
another.
it
That's
up.
what it comes down to.
but yeah,
So,
dude, the basics repay you.
Yeah.
in business, man.
Right.
Like just doing the easy stuff, answering your phone,
Yeah.
showing up when you say you're going to show up.
Yep.
If you
Showing
do-
gratitude.
Yeah,
Be grateful for the business.
Be
That's
grateful.
that's the thing.
Absolutely.
That
That's
goes
a
the
big
longest
thing.
way.
Yep.
yep. And that's what this whole podcast and kind of the whole way I live my life is based around that. It's based around bringing it back to like personal relationships.
Right.
And seeing that, like, because everything is so faceless these days, right? Amazon, you can get anything delivered to your door in a moment. Chewy, you only have to run to the store to get dog food or talk to a single person.
Right.
It's delivered to your door 2 days later. Not that I don't use them, or not that it's not a great service to have, but it's gonna kill this
right
here.
Absolutely.
Right. And this is what made the world go around for so long.
Correct.
And I don't know. I think there's so much more to be gained between generating a legitimate connection with a person.
Correct.
Versus just taking their money.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If people hand us over big checks,
Right.
$50,000, $100,000, $300,000, people give us big checks.
Yep.
Like, if I can't shake your hand and thank you, like legitimately thank you from the bottom of my heart for putting food in my kid's mouth,
taking care of all of my team members,
taking care of all these great people that we have here. Like, I don't know if I want to do this, man.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, so I think you guys are doing it right just by taking care of your customer. And anybody who listens, like, coming from people who run successful businesses here, like, do the basics.
Right.
Yep.
That's it.
That's all it takes.
You know,
Absolutely.
start from there. If you don't master the basics of customer service, that's number one. Because if you can do those things right consistently, you're already ahead of most of your competition.
Yep.
Right.
You know?
Well, and that's one thing. I mean, just being in the industry, not that they don't take care of their customers. Sometimes they're slow about it, or you know, they go about scheduling in a really wonky way, and that's where we don't want to do that. We want to. We get the phone call, we're booking you that day. There's, you know, it's not. Well, I'll take your service call. I'm going to wait 2 days to call you back to figure out when I'm going to put you on the books. It's Cameron gets the phone call, he books them. I'm out there within it. You know, usually busy season, we're going to be about 2 weeks, 3 weeks out, something like that. You know, so he's booking us that far out. Yeah. You know, but at least they know. And then I always call when I'm driving there and I'm like, hey, I'm going to arrive at XYZ. Yeah. You know, and that's just it's been phenomenal with customers that way. Plus, you know, just they always tell me, oh man, Cameron was so awesome to deal with on the phone. And then he gets a phone call. Oh, Micah was an awesome tech. He explained everything to me. He cleaned it up. Yeah. This thing looks way better than it ever did. I got a higher flame. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff that we've heard just because we took care of the customer. It's not about, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, we're going to get money from you, but we want to take care of you, and then they pay us for our excellent service. Yeah. You know, so, and that's what we're about, man.
Yeah. So but if you get that service, man, money follows.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It really does.
Absolutely.
Like, that's, you know, we used to try to be the biggest, baddest roofing company we could be because we thought if we serviced more customers, we'd make more money. Yeah. Right. But it's, I mean, what we slowly have found out, and not that we're not scaling up and, you know, trying to grow, but we were going fast. Yeah. And customer service was falling. And people are going to pay less for customer service. And we raised our prices, but also raised our customer service, serviced less customers, but made more money.
Right. Yep.
You know, and that's like, there's something I could like scream from the rooftops. It's just like, just take care of that customer. Take care of people, man.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah. Especially in like the roofing space, because it's the barrier to entry is very low. You know, they print the directions on how to do your job on the back of the bundle. Right? There's little instructions on it. So anybody could do it. Realistically, anybody can do it.
Yep.
As far as like licensing, you guys have the same licensing requirements that we do, right? Pennsylvania is are you registered as a home improvement contractor technically?
No.
No?
You don't have to have that.
I wasn't sure if you were or not. Okay. Because in PA, like, you put a ladder on your truck and pay $75 to the state, you're a contractor now.
Really?
That's it.
That's all it is?
That's all it takes. That's all it takes. You have to show a certificate of insurance, which you can go on any website.
Right.
Go on next, pay $19.99. Bam, all of a sudden you're
a contractor. Yeah. You're ready to rock. Get out there, start banging a hammer on people's roofs.
Yeah, but I mean that's, you know, like is there a lot of competition in your space?
So there is, but all the people that are the competition have existed forever, but everyone's running into the same issue, right?
Right.
No one has the manpower to handle anything.
Correct. That was my
that's
next.
Everyone's problem, like any other trade right now.
Yep, that was my next question.
Manpower is the hardest thing to come by. Yep. So thankfully, we have, you know, we have someone on board already, and we have another guy that we're looking at bringing on board soon.
Nice.
So that's kind of the beauty of him being connected kind of in the industry already, is it kind of works out with that. But but you know, once after those two guys are onboarded, it's gonna be all, you know, like anybody else, just trying to find anyone that knows anything about the industry.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what a pellet stove is? Great, we'll teach you. Come on,
exactly.
Come on. I mean,
you're hired.
Yeah, you know which one the power button is? Great, then you know enough. Get over here. We'll teach you.
Yep.
We'll teach you the rest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's going to be a major problem in our industry.
Extremely.
In 20 years, I mean, all the old timers, where are they going to go?
Right.
You know, I read a stat the other day that for every 5, or maybe it's 10, maybe.
That Mike Rowe thing, every 5, there's only 2 that come back in.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
For every 5 that retire.
Mike Rowe, that's exactly what he was on stage.
By the way, he is the man.
Yep.
Mike Rowe,
dude.
You know, I don't realize how much that guy really affected me.
Yep.
Right? Like I'm young. We're all pretty
right.
young.
Yeah.
And so, like, as I was like a young adult, is when he was doing like dirty jobs. And
Right.
doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I was always kind of strangely like attached to that show.
Yeah.
Right.
And now, as that guy has moved out of that, he's into this like outspoken guy for the trades. Like, what a gem.
Yeah. Dude, he's awesome.
It's a gem of a man.
He's
Absolutely
giving out the money to the kids that are looking to do it. You have to meet his criteria, and I forget what it is, but
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what he's doing is incredible. And honestly, to be real with you, if we as young people in the trades started putting huge emphasis on this and speaking into the schools about stuff like this, I think we could revolutionize this, right? Because college isn't always the way. I went to school. I got a degree.
Me too.
Am I using it? No. Great. Cool. I made a lot of money for nothing, right? I mean, I could have made the same exact money I'm making now, not going to college.
Right.
Not to say there's anything wrong with college. So if you went there, great.
Good.
Great. I went there too. My wife went there too.
I didn't go.
You know.
So
yeah.
And I mean, that's what I always tell my kids. Look,
but you don't
have to go to college.
Right. Yeah.
To
There's
own a
other
company or do
alternatives.
other things.
Right.
You don't have. You're smart.
Yep.
You can figure it out.
Yeah.
So, and that's even what schools are. I mean, telling kids now is, hey, get into the trades because there's more money in trades.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
right.
I think it would be beneficial if we could figure something out to help kids now and bring up the next generation.
Seriously.
We were talking about this a little bit ago. It's something that I really want to get started, and I haven't started yet because I'm just busy with every other project I have going on right now. My wife will kill me if I take one more on right now. But anyways, I really think it would be important to start in the schools, a club or whatever, for financial literacy and entrepreneurial. Like all these kids, there's so many kids that have great ideas on businesses, but they don't know where to start. Right. And I think it's so important that we start teaching this stuff now that schools just aren't teaching, right?
Correct.
To tell kids, hey, there's another alternative. You have a great idea. You don't need to go a college business degree to do that idea. Right? So start, and half the businesses, they could start now in 10th grade. You know what I mean? So, watch for that. You know, you might be invited to help me out on that.
I feel like you're in my brain right now.
Right. But,
get out of me.
But stuff like that gets me fired up. Like I wish I had stuff like that when I was in high school.
But that's where, again, when we were starting this, and that's what I told Cameron when we were initially talking. I was like, because he was talking about business, and I was like, I want to start one. I just don't know how to get it started.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And that's where he came in to the picture, because I have the hands-on knowledge and all that.
Right.
He's got the back office stuff.
Right.
Where he could teach that. And I was like, that's what I need. You know, so I mean, again, later on I want to learn all that to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But you know, that is super important though, because you got to be able to know where to start. Like, what's step one? Step one's have that idea. Well, you got the idea. Step two is let's start filling out the paperwork.
Yeah.
You know, and getting that going.
Yep.
And that was, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know, and that was, I guess, my biggest hurdle for starting a business. And that's where Cameron came into business for me.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it seems there's shows like Shark Tank. I love Shark Tank.
Yep, Shark Tank.
I love Shark Tank.
Absolutely.
There's a problem with Shark Tank though, is it only tells not even a quarter, an eighth of the story.
Exactly.
Right. They show the sexy stuff.
Right.
They show like the wheeling and dealing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Getting money, big investments.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And then of course the stories they show you are the companies that went record profits and
Correct.
you know, Scrub Daddy got Lori, and all of a sudden they're doing 1.8 billion in sales, but they skip over the research and development, the financial literacy, understanding your numbers. They skip over the understanding workers' comp and how that affects the prices that you pay, and what your employees are doing and versus what they're getting paid for on a comp, like
correct.
Negotiating with those insurance companies, so your rates aren't astronomical. There's so much that goes into it, and then they just kind of breeze over the whole thing.
Yeah,
right.
You know, that's
you got a $10 billion bid deal. Great job. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I showed up last night in my pajamas, and now I got a $10 billion deal with you. Know? Goodness.
Yeah,
that show drives me crazy sometimes.
Yeah, but you know, and I love it. Like I do. Like, I love to see people win. I love talking about businesses and entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
But shit's hard.
Yep.
You know,
it is.
And financial, like you said financial literacy earlier, and I think that is like, again, things that I could go from a rooftop and scream to other business owners is financial literacy.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, this is a business. It's all about, you know, we're here to make a profit.
Right.
Correct.
And we're here to pay our people, and especially the trades. Trades are especially susceptible to people not understanding financial literacy. You know, I don't know if you guys ever, there's a book called, God, I can't remember. The E-Myth by,
I've not heard of it.
I've never heard that.
It's a book, basically, it's the entrepreneurial myth, and it talks about the myth behind being an entrepreneur. And they call it like a myth because a lot of people are like me and you. I worked for a roofing company before. You were working in another company before, and it's like, man, that boss is such a jerk.
Yeah.
I could do this better myself. He's taking all the money.
Yep.
Right? And a lot of people then, they break out, and they think because they were a tradesman that they're also a business owner.
Correct.
Right.
And there's a clear distinction there between knowing how to do the work versus how to make the work happen.
And motivate people to actually work for you.
Exactly.
That's half the battle. If you can't motivate someone to work for you, you're going to fail in a heartbeat.
Yeah, you can't do, I've tried. You can't do everything yourself.
Nope.
No, truly. How about it?
Trust me, man, I've tried every single way I can.
Right.
I've hired experts to be like, to try to teach me how to do more. They're like, just hire people.
Right.
Just delegate. Yeah. Learn how to work and manage people.
Yeah, realize how having more people makes you more money at the end of the day.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you focus on what you're good at, and your partner focuses on what they're good at, and then your folks focus on what they're supposed to do, all of a sudden everything coexists much better.
Yes.
Yep. You're less stressed. Your wife, as a result, is less stressed because you're putting less stress on them. You know what I mean? Everything gets better, right?
Yeah.
So, and yeah.
Absolutely.
It just works better.
Yeah.
It does.
It was a hard pill for me to swallow.
Yeah.
Right. As just a stubborn person, you know. Always wanted to do things by myself.
Well, as an entrepreneur, that's what you do, though, right? I mean, that's the other side they don't show you, right? All the blood, sweat, and tears you go through to get to where you're at, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, and at the end of the day, you're thinking, well, crap, you know, I was the one, or in this situation, we were the ones, and we were just actually talking about this as well. You know, we couldn't ever bring on a third person because, you know, they wouldn't understand, right? They wouldn't understand what we've gone through to get to where we are, right? So it's so hard as the people who got there to let go of some things, right? To delegate some tasks.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels great once you learn to delegate tasks. You're like, thank God, now I don't have to do that anymore. You know, and you always delegate the stuff that sucks. Yeah. But, you know,
write down all the stuff that you don't
right.
I don't like this.
List his top 10 worst things, and great, you got the top 10.
Right.
But yeah, you know, working together as a team and learning how to delegate is a major part of that, and learning to let go is a tough part of entrepreneurship.
Yep.
You know, in the back of your head, you know, yes, I probably could do it better, but at the end of the day, if that's their strength, they might not be able to do it better now. But man, 2 months from down the road, you'll be thankful that they did it, because they'll do it 10 times better than you did it.
Yeah.
And then you do better. Your business is better as a result of them doing it better.
That's
right? I mean, hey.
Yeah. It was a tough pill to swallow.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
80% rule is something that kind of changed me. I forget. I heard someone speak about this, but someone said, if you can find someone to do it 80% as good as you would do it, that's okay.
Right. Worth it.
Yeah.
Right. You can work on the other 20.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because no one will ever do it as well. You guys are the founders here.
Yep.
Right. No one will ever care as much as you.
Exactly.
As you will.
Yep.
But if they care 80%, that's okay.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You gotta be okay with that and live in a little bit of that gray area.
Yep.
Right.
Well, and that's where Cameron and I talk. We talk pretty much every day. And if we're not talking, we're either over at each other's house or whatever. But so
his wife always assumes that he's talking to
me. She automatically assumes. But you know, one of the things I always told him was working for the previous employer that I worked for, he never valued what people bring to the table.
Same. Yeah.
Right.
You know, and for me, that's a struggle.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, when I'm not doing a good job, or I think I'm not doing a good job, he may think I'm doing a good job, but you know, if I'm not doing that 80% or 100%, it wears on me.
Right.
That's stressful on me, and that's what I was telling Cameron. I'm like, you know, if he would be appreciative of what we've done and say, hey, you know, I would have done it this way, but you know, you got the task done, that would go a whole lot further. And I told him, you know, I said, you know, one of the things that I will never do is be like that, because I don't, you know, you got to empower your people to get them people to work for you,
right?
You know, and seeing that, I was like, I'm not going to be a boss like that, you know, or I'll put it not a boss. I won't be a leader like that, because leaders are different than bosses.
I like that reframe.
You know what I mean?
There.
Yeah. I'm not a boss. I'm a leader, and that's what Cameron and I are. We're leaders. We're not going to be bosses. We're going to be leaders.
That's right.
And you know, because I worked under a boss, I didn't work under a leader.
Right.
He couldn't tell me how to do it or show me how to do it. He just said, do it.
Just do it.
And then when I did it, it wasn't right.
Yep.
And that's not how you lead somebody. So
nobody's going to get empowered by that.
Exactly. And you know, we like I said, we talk all the time. We want to empower our guys.
Yeah.
You know, when we start getting those employees, we want to empower them that they can go and do it.
Yep.
And you know, like he said, it may not be the way we would have done it, but it got done at the end of the day, and we still made money. So why not be happy for them and be happy for us?
That's right.
So, you know, just, I don't know. I think that, you know, we as leaders have to show them that we trust those guys to do that at the end of the day.
Man, such a wise wise statements, man.
Yeah.
Very, very wise stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Took me way too long to realize all of this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I was very much that, like I said from the E-Myth, I was that contractor that was like, screw this boss.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he was screwing me over quite a bit and underpaying me and, you know, a plethora of other things. But yeah, I didn't go into it with the intentionality that you guys did. And I had to learn all these lessons like really the hard way.
Yeah.
These are things that are important to impart on kids.
Right.
Kids who are, I mean, let's face it, it's easier to start with the amount of information out there now. It's easier to start a business now than ever.
Correct.
100%.
Absolutely.
It's easier to fail now more than ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's so many distractions out there and people telling you which way to go. And I love the idea of, have you guys ever thought about partnering with like Votech or like some way to,
we're only
I
a
don't
year
know
in.
if-
Come on now. Just kidding. No, we
We haven't
get
thought about
far,
that. Yeah, we haven't thought about that yet.
Yeah.
But that is a good idea.
yeah,
I mean,
Right,
shoot.
right.
I'm going to get my royalties for that one.
That's
No, that's something that we've always, they don't have a roofing program. There's a carpentry program over at the schools, but something to get in front of these kids and talk about, you know?
Right. Well, think about the truck driving schools, right? So another industry I'm in is truck driving and stuff like that.
Okay.
But a lot of these guys will say, hey, listen, I'll pay for your education if you come to work for me for 2 years.
Right.
Why can't we do the same thing in, not Votech, obviously, that's a free program, but we can say, hey, you know, you go through our program, you have a job making $30 an hour as soon as you come out.
Right.
Yep.
Listen, we're not even going to question that. If you come out of there, we know what you know because we were there. We're the ones that set the program. So I don't know why, you know, more businesses aren't involved in that. You know, people are like, well, the trades can't find people. Well, what have you done to improve it?
Yeah.
Why? Don't complain if you haven't done anything to improve it.
Correct.
That's where I'm at with it. It's I don't want to complain. Well, we aren't at that point to complain yet. We have people lined up. But I'm going to look at myself too and tell myself that, like, I can't complain about the industry and about the skilled labor if I'm not doing anything to try to improve it.
Right.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And I think that's something and you know, you have a pretty decent following with your podcast and all of your stuff, you know, and a lot of business owners. And I think to you out there watching, like, let's get together. Let's do this together. Let's start a program and talk with Votech and say, hey, listen, we're experts in our fields.
Yeah.
Let's set a program together and let's get these kids and set them up for success after school.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because realistically, like, we live in a pretty depressing world, right? So these kids are getting close to graduation and they're freaking out about what they're going to do, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And they think there is not an option. Well, hey, you want to learn this skill, buddy? Listen, you're going to make money leaving school, buddy.
Yeah.
All right,
Yep.
I'll pay you $30 an hour to come work for me.
Yeah.
You'll make money,
Absolutely.
and you'll make way more than your friends
Yep.
that aren't making money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yep.
Let's talk. let's talk when this podcast is over.
Right,
absolutely.
I mean, I know I've spoken. You got me seen Chad Hopple that was on the first episode of the podcast ever.
Right.
Him and I have talked about that. Zach Osherman, he was on last week. I mean, I know a lot of people in the trades, and everybody says the same thing. Right. Everyone's going to face the same crisis here in 10 years.
Exactly.
That we don't have the people. So,
yeah, might as well start bringing them up now.
Yeah.
And the thing is, making a business is so much easier than they try to make it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, right now, if you watch, and everyone says, well, watch YouTube, everyone's on YouTube. Doggone, those people on YouTube sometimes make it look so much more complicated than it has to be.
Yeah.
You know?
It took us an hour, right? About an hour to fill out our business paperwork. I mean,
but I've done it before, so I knew what to do.
But at the end of the day, though, I mean, it was
hard, right?
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
It walks you through step by step. It's
paid-
not hard.
We paid LegalZoom $99. The next thing you know, we had a business.
Nice.
That was it.
Right.
Jeez.
$99. Filed all the paperwork. I was delivered an EIN and state ID number. Like 2 days later, and we were like, "Oh, okay,
we're
here we
official."
go."
All right, let's go to work. Yeah, right. Let's start marketing. Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah. That's what we did.
That's
Then we started going to restoration companies, and we're like, "Hey, do you guys have some roofs we could do?" They're like, "Hey, do you want this one in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the snow?" We're like,
Great.
"Yeah, let's take it."
We'll take it on.
That's how we were too.
Exactly what we did.
Anyone here in Alaska, great. We're coming tomorrow. We'll be there. All right.
Anything and everything we could get.
Yeah.
You know, but I didn't understand the fundamentals back then.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't.
Right.
You know, it was the business. Starting the business was so easy, and people on YouTube. This is one thing I've learned as a business owner is once you're in business, you're gonna get sold a lot.
Yep.
Mhm.
Everybody wants to sell you something.
Yep.
And you have a lot of the answers already. They're between your ears, right? You have the answers. You just have to trust your intuition.
Correct.
Because it's your gut's gonna lead you in the right direction more times than not.
Right.
And if you make a mistake, you've learned a lesson.
Absolutely.
Hopefully it wasn't that expensive.
Absolutely.
But I've made a lot of them.
We made
Lot
one
of-
this year. We made a pretty big one, but we learned from it.
Yeah.
And we're going to improve on that.
Right.
I mean, and again, I beat myself up a lot because I care a lot, but like Cameron said, dude, listen, sweep it under the rug. It's going to happen.
Right.
Let's move on. We've moved on. I mean, we've made mistakes before, but it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. So,
and what's crazier than that is all we did was provide great customer service after the fact, right?
Yep.
We made sure we took care of the customer 100%.
That's right.
Guess what? They used us again.
Yep.
Right? And again, we knew we did wrong, right?
Yep.
But we did right by the customer, and they still used us.
They were happy.
Yep.
At the end of the day, they were happy with everything.
Still used us again. So, and that's what I'd say to new business owners. If you screw up, it's fine. It happens. It will happen.
Yeah, trust me, it's gonna happen.
It will.
Yep. It happened.
And people are more forgiving if you own it and you're apologetic and provide the best
Straight
customer
up front
service
with
to
it.
fix it.
Absolutely.
Straight
Boom,
up
you'll
front.
have another-
Don't try to
sticker.
sweep it under the rugs. And no, we were like, that was me. I did it. And they were like, oh, okay. And Cameron was on the phone immediately. I mean, I was out running around, but he was, immediately with other people. And again, customer service was our biggest thing there.
Yep.
So
That's it,
Yep.
man.
Right.
Bad news travels like wildfire.
Yep.
Like my dad told me that one time when I was a kid, and it kind of stuck with me.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Like good news is good. You love delivering good news, but you got to deliver bad news quickly and efficiently. You just got to give it.
Right.
get it done.
Move past it. We had to replace a roof in the middle of what was that? February this year.
Burr.
It was like $15,000. We had to we messed the roof up. All right, I'll admit it.
Yeah.
All right,
Yep.
It was right on the cusp of it was a little bit too flat. We shouldn't have shingled it, and what do you know? It leaked. But we brought it up to the customer, and we're like, "Look, man, we're not going to leave you." He called us, he said it's leaking. We're like, "Damn it, okay." Tell you what, we're going to rip this whole thing off. We're going to do it. We're going to do it the way that it should have been done. We put our foot deep in our mouth,
Right.
and took our lumps. So even we're 7, almost 8 years into business, man. We still make
Yeah, absolutely.
mistakes, and
Well, and I was going to say, I think one of the things that I'd first noticed with you, and I think I had told you when I was at your house cleaning your stove, was you had done a video when you guys were out on a job, and you guys had missed some flashing or something like that.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
I was telling Cameron, I said, man, how impressive is that they took a piece of humble pie and they said, hey, we got to come back and redo. And I forget where it was. It wasn't a big area, but you guys forgot that, and you're like, hey, we just totally missed it. It was on the work order.
Yep.
And I was like, man, that's pretty legit.
the customer had already paid us.
Yeah, and that, I
Customer
remember you
we
saying
could've
that
just been
to me.
like, see ya.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Right.
We just
Yeah.
made some money, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, at the end of the day, it was about taking care of that customer and making
Yeah.
it right with them.
Yep.
And I told Cameron, I was like, man, that's impressive.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, because a lot of people nowadays aren't going to do that.
Always
They're
do.
just going to run with the money and say,
Yep.
oh, sorry, we missed at that time.
Right.
So
Yeah.
And say, hey, by the way, you owe me more money to come back out. Heck
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
I don't owe you money to come back out if you screwed it up once.
Yeah. That's my
Yeah.
beacon, man. That's my North Star is as long as you always do the right thing, it'll work out.
oh,
Right,
yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
Right. That's
100%.
You screw up, own it, move on.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So what other business ventures you got going on? You mentioned, like, you hinted at it earlier. Now I'm like curious about it. If you can talk about it.
So we
If
do
it's-
have
if it's-
something big coming up.
If it's secret time, then don't.
It's
Well,
worry
so
about it.
one of the side things that we started just for the summertime,
Right,
I don't know
get
if
it.
this will keep going, but we started just doing lawns. So it's
Landscaping.
like
Nice.
landscaping stuff. So Capital Lawn Services.
Nice.
So keeping with the
Staying on
standard
brand.
with our
Right.
stuff.
Staying
So
on brand.
you know, that is just to kind of fulfill. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I don't know how.
we ran them together as a DBA,
Yeah.
so we just kept the name. So
Yeah.
made it easy, seamless.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You want to talk about the other stuff or?
we do have something big coming up. 2024 we'll be acquiring another business.
Hey, my
Yep.
man.
Yeah, right. Come on, we can't get
So-
into it too much right now. It's
Sure.
still in the
I
works.
understand
But
how it
yeah,
goes.
so we'll be getting a little bit more of the pie.
Dude,
Yep.
that's super exciting.
So we're pretty excited about that.
And
We're pretty excited
that's the way this it's happening in the roofing industry. It's called the big roll up,
Oh,
right? It's a big thing.
Yeah,
There's big companies out there, venture capital backed,
Buying up everybody.
They're rolling up every little
Yep.
company. I mean, if you want to start a 50 or a $500 million roofing company,
Mhm.
how do you do it? Do you wait the 100 years it takes to start a $500 million roofing company?
No.
Or do you buy up $501 million roofing
Exactly.
companies,
exactly.
right? Bam, instant.
Pull up
You can-
everybody. Yep.
venture capitalists could do that in a matter of 10 years,
Yep.
Yep.
right? And it's happening in a lot of the trades
Wow,
too.
It's crazy.
But it's interesting. I mean, and we've talked about this before. We've been extremely blessed, and things have just kind of fell in place for us
Yep.
through this industry
Mm-hmm.
and or through just like this business. And this is just another one of those situations that this person that we're acquiring their company is a major player in the business in this
Mm-hmm. Nice.
area. Most everyone knows.
And he's
Anyone that has any sort of fireplace knows of this person
Oh, yeah.
and has used it.
He's been doing it for 30 plus years. I'll
That's
just
awesome.
put it that way.
Cool.
So,
And-
yeah.
I reached out to him as
Mm-hmm.
just a hey, we're in the area doing contract work, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. And then like 6 months later, he calls me up. He's like, hey man, I'm looking to sell. You want it? I haven't talked to anyone else yet. I want to give it to you guys first. And I was
Yeah. Just out of the blue. I
like,
mean,
again, I'm not saying no.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
do we
we're
sign?
gonna
You know what I
be-
mean? I
yeah.
don't care what it costs.
well, and I was going to say he called me up. He's like, hey, he's offering it to us. And I was like,
Dude,
awesome, man. I was like, let's
Right,
go.
right.
So, that's the cool thing with it. So,
Yeah,
it's awesome, man.
But I mean, that's the light that you shine.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People want to be a part of something, and everybody wants to. Most of us want to sell
Yeah.
someday. I don't know if you want to be cleaning. You want to be cleaning out stoves the rest of your life. I know I don't want to be running roofing numbers for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
We all want to.
Right.
We all want to sell, but
Yep.
but you want to carry on your legacy at the same time.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, you do the right things consistently, people are gonna notice.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Right? That's
Absolutely.
why before we started the podcast, you guys were asking about video. Like,
Yeah.
does that do anything for you? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I
think
have.
it does,
I was
but-
gonna say I haven't done much with it, but I do want to start more with it. I
Yeah.
just haven't.
Yeah.
Right now is not the time to do it. So
It's a tough thing to do.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Time consuming for
that's it.
sure with
Yeah.
editing and
Yep.
yeah, and honestly, man, screw editing.
yeah.
Like your
Just-
video,
Yep.
raw.
the
Put
one
it
you
out
did
raw.
on my house.
Yeah.
Remember, because the
Yep.
insulation was like
It
on the
falling
pipe,
down. Yep.
falling down, and created a fire hazard or something.
Yep.
Like that is gold stuff, man. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's that if you do the right things, the small right things consistently,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know
It's
who's
gonna-
gonna notice. Right?
Exactly.
Better that wants to sell, or a customer who wants to give you $50,000, or
Yeah.
a
Right.
whole slew of things can
There's a
happen.
lot of
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah.
Just do those right things consistently.
That's awesome.
Well, fellas, we're at like 44 minutes, and I think we probably got to wrap it up here. We're pushing like 5:15 or so.
Okay.
I know.
It's that time.
I know. We got some kids. We got some kids to pick up. I got 2
Absolutely.
at home that are probably wanting me to get
That's
home.
right.
Right.
But guys, thank you so much, man. Seriously, you guys are the best. Just recap real quick. Who are you guys? How can people get in touch with you? Where can they find you?
Yeah, for
Floor is
sure.
yours. Get it, boys.
So we're Capital Hearth Services. We can find on Facebook. You can reach us at our website, capitalhearthservices.com. Give us a shout if you have pellet stoves, coal stoves, fireplaces. We do it all.
Yep.
And we'll be linking all their information down in the comments. But guys,
awesome.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Charlie.
I cannot
appreciate
you guys for coming in enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking forward to seeing you grow.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
definitely.
brother.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you for your time.
No problem.